Imagine waking up tomorrow to the news of war breaking out in Europe. How would you react? What would you do? In the current climate, thoughts like these aren't as far-fetched as they once may have seemed. Tensions are rising across the European continent, with the spectre of conflict looming large. The concern is not unfounded. The fear of a possible war with Russia is palpable, permeating the air like a fog that refuses to lift. As we speak, countries are ramping up their defense initiatives. Sweden, for instance, is taking preparedness to a new level. Households across the country have been provided with brochures advising on crisis and war readiness. The guides include practical advice on survival skills such as first aid and information consumption during emergencies. It's a stark reminder of the times we live in, but Sweden is not alone in its efforts. France, Finland, Germany and Poland are all bolstering their defense capabilities. Poland in particular is taking a proactive stance, with plans to train every adult male for war. It's a significant endeavor, and while there are concerns about its feasibility, it underscores the gravity of the situation. Amidst all this, cyber threats are a growing concern. In our digital age, warfare extends beyond physical borders and into the virtual realm. Cybersecurity is no longer a luxury, but a necessity, a vital part of national defense. These are not just words on a page, they are real actions being taken by real people. Governments are issuing survival guides, enhancing civil defense measures, and encouraging citizens to prepare 72-hour emergency kits. It's a new era of strategic readiness, driven by the very real possibility of conflict. These aren't just hypothetical scenarios. This is the reality that Europe is preparing for. European nations aren't sitting idle, they're taking strategic steps to bolster their defense capabilities. In light of the escalating geopolitical tensions, these countries are not just sitting back and watching. They are taking proactive steps, embracing a culture of preparedness that extends from the government down to the individual citizen. One such example is Sweden. The authorities there have made a significant move by distributing a brochure to households with advice on crisis and war readiness. This includes practical survival skills such as first aid and guidelines on how to consume information during emergencies. This reflects the nation's commitment to ensure that its citizens are not only physically prepared but also mentally equipped to handle potential crises. Then we have the European Commission stepping in, advising member states to prepare 72-hour emergency kits. This is a clear indication of the urgency and seriousness with which the European Union is treating the current geopolitical climate. It's not just about governments and armies being ready, it's about every single citizen having the necessary resources to survive for at least 3 days in the event of an emergency. But it doesn't stop there. Other nations like France, Finland and Germany are also ramping up their defense capabilities. They are investing in their military, enhancing civil defense measures and implementing strategic readiness plans. Poland, in particular, is taking a bold step. The country is aiming to train every adult male for war, expanding its military and preparing millions of reservists. This may seem like a drastic measure, but it demonstrates the lengths to which these nations are willing to go to ensure their security and survival. But as these nations prepare for the worst, it begs the question, is the UK falling behind? While Europe braces for potential conflict, the UK's preparedness has been brought into question. Critics are pointing out that, unlike Sweden, which has issued a detailed brochure on crisis and war readiness, or Poland, gearing up to train every adult male for war, the UK seems less proactive. Questions are being raised about the UK's strategy, or the lack thereof, to prepare its citizens for potential conflicts. Contrasting the UK's approach with that of France, Finland and Germany, which are visibly enhancing their defence capabilities. The UK's efforts seem somewhat lackluster. These nations are not just issuing survival guides, but also preparing 72-hour emergency kits and ramping up their defence efforts. Not only are these countries focusing on physical preparedness, but they're also readying their digital defences to counter potential cyber threats. The UK's perceived slow pace in this regard is a cause for concern among many. The UK's perceived lack of readiness underscores the need for increased preparedness across all of Europe. But it isn't just governments that need to prepare. Citizens too have a crucial role to play. In this climate of uncertainty, individual preparedness becomes as vital as national defense strategies. Authorities across Europe are advising households on survival skills and how to consume information during emergencies. Sweden, for instance, has distributed brochures to households with practical advice on first aid and crisis readiness. In Poland, the government is taking an even more proactive approach, aiming to train every adult male for war. This initiative, while ambitious, underscores the importance of individual readiness in a time of crisis. These training programs vary in intensity and focus, from short crash courses to month-long programs, providing citizens with the knowledge and skills to protect themselves and their communities. The role of the citizen in this scenario is not just about survival, but also about resilience. It's about maintaining the social fabric and keeping society functioning even in the face of adversity. This is why other countries might look to adopt similar measures, emphasizing citizen preparedness as a key part of their defense strategy. As the saying goes, hope for the best but prepare for the worst. Perhaps the most chilling prospect of all is the fear of a nuclear conflict. The dread of Russia potentially using nuclear weapons in a conflict is a specter that looms large over Europe. It's a scenario that would have devastating implications, not just for the continent, but for the world at large. The fallout from such an event would be catastrophic, resulting in untold loss of life and irreparable environmental damage. To brace for such a grim possibility, European nations are taking measures to bolster their readiness. Survival guides are being issued, and citizens are being instructed on what to do in the event of a nuclear attack. The specter of a nuclear conflict has lent a sense of urgency to these preparedness efforts, with the understanding that every second could mean the difference between survival and annihilation. In this tense climate, the need for vigilance and preparedness has never been greater. Here's a list of Russian weapons that could potentially be used in a conflict with Europe. Nuclear capabilities: 1. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. The Russian RS-28 Sarmat, also known as Satan II, the R-36M2 Voyvoda, and RS-24 Yars. 2. Submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, RSM-56 Bulava and R-29R Volna. 3. Tactical nuclear weapons, Iskander-M Kalibr and Ki-47M2 Kinzhal. Conventional capabilities: 1. Strategic bombers, the Tu-160 Tu-95 MS and Tu-22M3. 2. Fighter jets, the Su-35, Su-30SM, MiG-35 and the MiG-31. 3. Attack aircraft, the Su-34, Su-25 and the Su-24M4. Helicopters, the Ka-52, Mi-28N and Mi-35M5. Surface-to-air missile systems such as the S-400, S-300 and Buk M36. Cruise missiles, Kh-101, Kh-55 and Caliber 7. Ballistic missiles, the Iskander-M and Tochka U-8. Artillery systems such as the Tu-S-35 Koalicja SV, Tu-S-19 Mstya S and BM-30 Smerch. 9. Armored vehicles, T-14 Armata, T-90M and BMP-3. Electronic warfare and cyber capabilities: 1. Electronic warfare systems such as the Krasuka-4, Lear-3 and Borisogledsk Tu-2. Russian cyber warfare units such as the 85th Main Center for Special Services. Naval capabilities: 1. The Russian submarines. These include the Akula class, Oscar II class and Yasen class. 2. Surface warships, the Kuznetsov class aircraft carriers, Slava class cruisers and Steregushchi class corvettes, and the amphibious assault ships such as the Ivan Gren class and Mistral class. It is hoped that there would be no conflict between Europe and Russia. Such a conflict would be very devastating and may ultimately lead to the use of nuclear weapons. The world cannot survive a nuclear war at this time, and any use of such weapons may spell doom for humanity. The United Nations and indeed all global organizations, including those in sub-regions, must work tirelessly in order to avert any conflict that may involve Europe fighting Russia. Such conflicts would have far-reaching ramifications across the globe, as it would draw the United States into it, and may ultimately lead to a nuclear war that may well end humanity.